Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of the home-cooked freezer meals that I made for my family this month, and also a really easy breakfast that I prepared for myself as well. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm making some homemade tortillas. These tortillas are so easy to make. Ever since I started my sourdough journey, I've been trying to make all of my breads from scratch as much as I can. And once I figured out how to make these flour tortillas, there was definitely no going back. These are so good and they stay really soft in all of my recipes. The only downside about making these flour tortillas is clearly the flour that I get all over my stove. So after that gets a good clean, it is definitely worthwhile. So once I make a batch of these tortillas, then I get ready to make the filling that is going to go inside of them. I have already eaten a few of these freezer meals and they do freeze and thaw very well. So the recipe I'm going to be making are green chili, kind of like smothered burritos or enchilada style burritos. So the first thing I'm going to be making is a vegan cheese sauce. So I start out with some steamed potatoes, peppers, and onions, and then I'm going to be adding some green chilies in here, probably about a teaspoon. I'm going to be adding some nutritional yeast, garlic powder, onion powder, and then just some salt to taste. You want to leave a little bit of the water that you steamed the potatoes in, or add about a half a cup of water to the blender, and then you want to blend this until nice and smooth. Once this is nice and blended, you're just going to set it aside, and then we're going to start making the filling for inside the burritos. So I'm going to be adding a can of pinto beans that I drained and rinsed. And then I'm going to be adding another tablespoon of those green chilies. I'm going to be adding about 2 cups of cooked rice. I did season this rice a little bit with some turmeric and some tahini. I'm just going to break the rice apart, any of those big chunks, because I want everything to be nice and incorporated for our burrito filling. Next thing I'm going to be adding is about a 1/4 cup of some salsa verde. And then I'm going to be adding about a half a cup of frozen peppers and onions. I'm just going to leave these frozen because these meals are going to be frozen anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Next, I'm going to be adding some of that cheese sauce that I made, and I'm going to be mixing everything together until it is well incorporated. I love adding some fresh elements to my freezer meals, so I'm going to be adding some chopped up green onion and some chopped up cilantro to put in the filling. And give this another good mix, and then I'm going to set it aside so I can begin to stuff my burritos. This filling was about enough for 6 burritos. I did actually double what I was making and make my husband a batch of green chili chicken burritos. So altogether, with the amount of rice that I cooked, which is about 2 cups of rice, I made 12 burritos, and I had enough tortillas to make 12 burritos as well. So I'm going to take one of my tortillas and I'm going to add a 1/6 of that burrito filling in there, and then I'm just going to wrap it up tight and set it aside for the next step. These homemade tortillas really do stay nice and soft, and they are very easy to roll up, and I haven't had a problem with them tearing at all either. Now to assemble my freezer meals, I'm making these single serve freezer meals instead of a big batch, but if you have a whole family, you could do this in a bigger pan. So I'm going to be adding a layer of my cheese sauce at the bottom, and then I'm going to be adding 2 burritos for each little foil pan. I'm going to be topping them with some more cheese sauce and some salsa verde, and then adding a little bit of fresh green onion and cilantro on top of that. Like I said, these froze really nicely. I thawed them out for a little bit in the afternoon before I worked, and then I popped them in the oven at 400 for maybe like 20 minutes, and they were perfect. They were so good, and all the fresh elements still tasted fresh. Everything blended together so nicely. It was such a hearty meal that I didn't have to cook after a very long day of homeschool and work. The best part is that everything was made from scratch, so I know all the ingredients that went into it, and it's so much better than defrosting something frozen that has a whole bunch of additives. This is fresh food. You could bulk prepare this and just leave a stack in your freezer and thaw out when you have those busy nights, and feel good that it is all home cooked food. The next thing I assembled was just some really easy breakfast meal prep. I like having something healthy on hand so that I don't even have to think about breakfast in the morning. So here you can see I'm sauteing up some purple cabbage, onions, and peppers. And then I'm going to be adding a block of tofu and some seasonings to make some tofu scramble. So I like to add turmeric, nutritional yeast, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and I added some spinach at the end as well. So now to assemble this, I had made some vegan cheese sauce using sweet potatoes and pumpkin seeds. So I'm just spreading that on top of a corn tortilla. And then I'm going to be adding some of my tofu scramble and some homemade pickled onions. And then I just grill that up in a dry frying pan just so everything kind of like blends together. And these little breakfast quesadillas were so easy. I ate this all week and it was easy to assemble. It took like 5 seconds and then I tossed it in the frying pan. So I hope this gives you guys some inspiration on how you can use real whole food ingredients to make some healthy recipes. Just because you cook from scratch doesn't mean that you have to spend hours in the kitchen every day. Meal prepping ahead of time is such an easy way to make sure that your family gets to eat nutritious and healthy meals and that you know the exact ingredients that went into everything. So I plan on bringing more content like this year. 2025 is my year to do more homemade from scratch cooking. So if you like this, please give the video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and let me know if there's anything you want to see in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.